Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. We're here with Fridays with Sandy. That's Sandy Kreisberg.
Hello, everybody.
We have
and let's have our guest say hi. Patrick.
Patrick in Sydney, Australia.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Where it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so Patrick is much better looking than that.
No wonder it's dark there.
Yeah.
Patrick is applying to Wharton, Columbia, MIT, and Haas. He has an undergraduate degree from Cornell in industrial and labor relations. He has a 3.34 GPA, a GRE of 323. He's a corporate project manager at a company and directly reporting to the CEO.
Yeah, okay, that's enough information to digest. Yeah, okay, here's the situation. You're just on the stats side, okay? You know this, Patrick, but your stats are a little bit lower than the averages, as I've got it, all of those schools. Like Wharton is a 3.6.718. This is GMAT. Columbia is a 3.5.715. Sloan 3.5.710. And Haas is, believe it or not, 3.6.715, even though it's the least selective of those, but it's plenty selective. So the issue for you is, if you're a little off on the stats, what do you think you can give them, you know, to replace that? What's your dowry, seeing as the stats isn't yeah.
International
experience.
Let's hear
it. And that's exactly one of them. I took additional coursework just to prove that I'm better now at kind of, as you guys say, sitting down, shutting up, and spitting it back out.
Good. So you've got an alternative transcript.
That's correct.
Good.
I've only taken a mathematics for management course at UCLA.
Good. Shows the right attitude. Right.
But
good.
I did get an A plus in the course.
Yeah,
so hoping that helps.
Okay.
That'll help. Another reason, kind of that I'm hoping differentiates me is the international experience in kind of the mix of having a financial background and an operating background. So what I'm doing right now is a lot of strategic operating work around a consumer brand. So my story.
Okay, tell us about the company. This is important. This is I agree with you. What your dowry is the fact that you're working for a company called Breville. We may not have heard of them here in New England, but tell us about the company. Let's see how accurately you can describe it and how impressively.
Yeah, so it's actually an 85-year-old Australian company that's listed on the ASX here. It's about a $3 billion Aussie
publicly listed $3 billion company.
Yes,
that sells. And what do they sell?
That sells houseware appliances, so premium espresso makers, ovens, food processors, things of that sort, to consumers and to retailers.
Great. Do people from that company typically attend business school, like you?
So there are a few. The executive team is extremely talented and has, people from Harvard Law School, Harvard Business School alumni. So
that's good. But how often do people at your level, like a corporate project manager, apply to business school?
So in my position, there's actually only been 2 others before me, and one went to Stanford and one went to Harvard. So I've got big shoes.
Okay.
I've got big
tell me
shoes
about,
to fill.
that's the best. No, let's we don't know about that. Let's hear about those shoes. That's obviously the most predictive thing. Start with their nationality and gender. I'm gonna move this along. Nationality and gender.
So they were both actually Australian and worked for either Bain or McKinsey before. So they had a little bit more going into the resume, I think, than I did.
Yes, because you worked for Bank of America Merrill Lynch, which is a fine company, but it's not as selective from the business school's point of view as Bain or McKinsey. Bain or McKinsey are just the most common feeders. But and they were Australian. John, how do you weight that compared to Patrick?
Well, Patrick, you're an American.
I am. I was actually born and raised in Houston, Texas.
What are you doing in Australia?
Getting that international experience that you were talking about.
Okay, because you also have experience outside of Australia in another country, right?
Well, so part of what I'm working on in my job is a new market entry. So I am spending a lot of time.
We're going to get to that, John. I just want you to weigh in on this super important question.
Yeah, so he doesn't qualify as an international applicant.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's neutral, and I'll tell you why. I generally would think that's bad, particularly right now, because there's a problem getting international students into USMBA.
Right. Okay, good point.
But an American who purposely goes abroad to gain international experience and then wants to come back, I think that kind of offsets whatever slight disadvantage there could be. I think that says a lot.
Okay, let me ask you another really nasty question. He went to Cornell is a good school to come from. It's a
Ivy League
school. Yeah, Cornell's a great school to come from. He went to the School of Industrial and Labor Relations. Is that Cornell light, or is that they don't know from that? It's just like Cornell. What do you think?
That's a very well-known school, and that's the premier program for people who are interested in that particular area in the world.
Yeah, okay. And were you recruited for the swim team, Patrick?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so we have a recruited athlete. That's really important.
Wow. And varsity, right?
Yes.
People, the business community likes swimmers. They're healthy, they're friendly, they're not weird, and they tend to be smart. Smarter.
It requires a lot of discipline to be on.
Yeah, and a lot of discipline. Business schools like that. They like everything about it. Get up early.
Very early in the morning to swim.
Yep.
Especially in the Ithaca winters.
That's true.
Definitely.
So swimming's a plus. The School of Industrial and Labor Relations could be spun into a plus. Why did you go there, Patrick? What are you going to say? Let's say it's an interview and they say, hey, what's with this? Where'd you go to high school?
So I went to high school in Houston, Texas, at just a public school in Northeast Houston.
Yeah, so how'd you wind up at Cornell in the School of Industrial and Labor Relations?
So from my high school, very few end up at an Ivy League institution. That's kind of a goal I set for myself in middle school of using, going to the best school academically and athletically that I could attend. Being recruited to Cornell, being able to see the campus, the team environment at Cornell, and mixed with the academics, it was a no-brainer for me to go there.
Since you were a recruited swimmer, you got to say that. This is one of these things where if you hold off this thing and you give them a whole spiel about why you went there and you don't mention you were a recruited swimmer, they view you as a guy who hides stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing personal.
Yep.
I've given this advice almost weekly when I talk to people.
Also, what happens in communication, all right, is people will remember certain things that are unique to you. That is unique, being a recruited athlete. So you want them to come away from the conversation with a few words in their head that they immediately identify with you.
Yes, good, John. Thank you. Okay, so that's how you went to Cornell. And then tell me after that, what'd you do between December 2014 and July 2015?
So
how did you graduate in December? Did you accelerate it, or did you start?
Yes, So I graduated early, and that's actually because of the swim program. I never had time to do the international experience and travel, so I wasn't able to travel abroad. So in that time, I gained an offer through my summer internship. So I know I was returning full time to Bank of America in June. So I went to Europe and Australia for the first time. and just finally saw the world.
Great. Okay, that's an acceptable answer. And then you're at Bank of America. Have I got this right, for 4 years?
Yes, that's correct.
In sales and trading. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay, John,
Yeah.
here's another nasty question. What's my nasty question and what's the answer?
Is sales and trading as prestigious as iBanking?
Yeah, boy, you and I, John, we don't even have to do this anymore.
And it's not, but here's the deal. When I listen to him, I find an incredibly purposeful young person, and that's really rare. I mean, my God.
Patrick, did you know that you're a purposeful young person?
Look, he's in middle school.
It.
He's in middle school, and he's going to go to a high school that's not known for sending kids to Ivy. And in middle school, he wants to go to Ivy school, an Ivy League school, right? So he sets that goal for himself. Then he sets a goal for himself to get international experience. Then he goes to Australia. Now he's 26 years old, and he's already thinking about an MBA. Every step in your life is unbelievably orchestrated and planned.
That's one of the
something bigger.
You've got a tight story. It's the successful smart swimmer story. Every piece of this joins it. There's no crazy digressions or things that have to be explained. You've got a real tight story, and that's a plus. Okay, so but I just want to mention this in my own informative, nasty way, that there is a hierarchy at banks where being an associate is a little more selective than sales and trading. Sales and trading people tend to be more personable and friendly. True.
That's because you're dealing with people instead of spreadsheets.
Right. Yeah, and they're dealing with short-term transactions. Yeah. Which wakes you up. You get a report card every day, right? Okay, so then Breville. Okay, you're now working. How did you come to get hired at Breville Group Limited in Sydney, Australia?
So this came from even when I was at sales and trading at Bank of America. I think I was gaining good experience, but I had the ultimate goal of being a CEO of a consumer goods company later on in life. I wanted something a bit more tangible. I wanted to be a manager and go the general management route of things. In that, I was the last year.
So that is all said by, even when I was in sales and trading, I wanted to transition into general management.
Yes, exactly. So that led me to anyone that I had really met that was in a position that I wanted to be in. I was taking phone calls and trying to learn about how to get in that position, and whether
Yeah, and then I networked my way from Bank of America. I networked my way into my next job, and I met Joe Blow from Breville on a deal, and that was my entree. So I kind of took the initiative and made that happen. Like a headhunter didn't come to you, right?
Nope. So what I'm working on a wide array of different projects across different functional groups. So anything from corporate development to new market entry to just really strategic projects that with a lot of blue sky, and that the company is using to grow. So it's for the past 5 years since the current CEO joined, it's been in a current acceleration program where revenue has gone up almost 100%, and the business is growing quickly. So there's a lot of initiatives to do. There's a lot of smart people to work with. So definitely although I've only been there for 9 months, been exposed to a ton of valuable work.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is, does all that positivity of going to Australia, actually doing things, you're working for a company that makes stuff that people, what are the products again?
Espresso makers.
Yeah, coffee makers. Yeah, everyone can relate to that. Yeah. So those are all positives. And then the question, John, is, drum roll, please. Is that enough to overcome a mildly lower stats, but stats that if they want you, they're not going to have any doubt that you could hack it there. So for schools, it just becomes, you know, are we going to take a slight hit in our, you know, U.S. news numbers to take this guy? A very slight hit, you know.
I'd say it does overcome it. I think his story is powerful enough. I think his achievements are strong enough. The fact that he's involved in a lot of strategic projects and he reports directly to CEO after having had the B of A experience is really positive. The Cornell, highly selective school is great.
This guy has got better experience than most people applying business.
And he's got a story.
Yeah, and he's got a story, and he's a swimmer, and the guy is actually selling, you know, coffee pots in Mexico. You know, that's, well, that's what business school is. You know, it's not, you're not getting a philosophy degree in ethics, okay? You're going to the Harvard Business, you know, you're going to the Columbia Business School, not the Columbia Divinity School. All right, that's, we're all, you know, we're all pro coffee pot here.
So what are his odds, Sandy? Now you could do tough love here and say, okay, look, if you go and you retake the GRE and you get another, I don't know, 5 points.
Let's focus on the GRE. He's got a 323 GRE with a 90 in quant and I'm sorry, 90 verbal, 76 quant. Is that right, Patrick?
Percentage. So yeah.
90% verbal, 76% quant.
Plus he's got the A+ in mathematics at UCLA to offset that quant.
And he's an Ironman finisher. Wow, I'm impressed.
What did you?
I'm serious, man. I'm impressed.
What did your
I'm
parents
not jiving you.
What was that?
What did your parents do, Patrick?
My father's been a CEO of multiple different companies, from anything from solar energy to restaurant groups.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
So kind of
an
an entrepreneur.
In the family.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, drum roll, please. White male, Wharton. I think you're going to have a hard time. There's a lot of people, a lot of white males they might like more than you. I think your chances of Wharton are like 20%. A lot of it may turn on what they know about the company and what they think of it. I think at Columbia, you're same thing, but it's less selective. So I think your chances at Columbia are more like 30 to 40%. Sloan, just smaller class, so it's got nothing to do with you. They're just more selective. I think your chances at Sloan are like 25, 30%. I think Haas, even though it's smaller, somehow, because of the Australia thing, the California thing, I think his chances at Haas are better, don't you, John?
Yeah. And I do think he's really unique. I mean, he's not a typical white male who's done
That's the question. You've got, so if you want to help yourself, but if you want some super tough love, sure, retake the GRE.
Oh.
But if you don't do that, let me take that back. In order to do yourself a favor by retaking the GRE, you'd really have to get a very high score. So that's, that just may not be in the cards. So then it's a matter of you've got to get your story straight.
Yep.
And you've got a real story, and you've got to present to these people, and you've got to. What are some of the tips for getting into these places? Like at Columbia, show them the love. We've mentioned this before. Obviously, you're in Australia. If there's any way of reaching out to Columbia, they really count that. They keep track of it. Have you visited? Have you reached out to an alum? That counts a little bit at Sloan. Does that count much at Haas, John?
Yeah, everyone wants to be shown the love. They really do. It's
Well, yeah, that's true in general, but I want to be a little strategic about this.
yeah, but
Columbia wants to be shown the love because they're frequently people's second choice.
But CBS also, if you, they have an early decision deadline.
Yeah.
And that the odds of getting in there are higher on early decision than they are in the rolling admissions period.
Well, now that you've mentioned it, would you recommend that to?
I think I would, because I think Wharton is a bit of a reach. So maybe you do early decision at CBS, you apply to Wharton round one, and you think, hey, if you get into Wharton, great. Then just, you might have to put down a deposit that you lose at Columbia.
How much of a deposit are we talking about here?
I don't remember the numbers, but I do remember.
Large.
It's higher than it should be.
It's not $100. It's like $2,000.
Yeah. But hey, isn't it?
So if you're willing to blow $2,000, yeah, I would go with John. I think Wharton's a long shot. Apply to Columbia early. If you get in, pay the $2,000. If you then want to be a stinker and apply to Wharton and you get in, you go, hey, Columbia, keep the friggin' $2,000. I'm going to Wharton.
Okay, let me throw something else out here. I mean, since your ultimate goal long term is to be CEO of a consumer products company, why wouldn't you apply to Kellogg?
This is just simply what kind of the research I've done so far. What I really like about
good point, John. Yeah, I would really consider that, Patrick.
I really like Kellogg, and they'll really like you. Yeah,
the Kellogg is your kind of place.
Yeah.
Swimming, that's all they have to hear. You're just. I'm serious.
Lake, right? They got a big lake. You can jump into it, even though it's 45 degrees.
No, what it means to them is you're a regular guy, and they like regular people.
Yeah, and the other thing is, obviously, they're well known for marketing and CPG. They have a higher percentage of people they put into CPG companies.
Yeah, they'll really go. Kellogg is your best chance of cracking the gold silver world.
Yeah.
That's an excellent tip. You win, John.
Kellogg in the mix.
You win today, John, for best suggestion in this dialogue. Kellogg, good one. Okay, we got you, buddy.
Hey, Patrick, good luck to you. We really think you got a great story, a powerful story that separates you from the pile of other white guys. I think it was brilliant to leave B of A and to go and do an international experience. There you go.
I'm getting ready to leave here. Goodbye. Good luck, everyone.
You. Sandy, wear your mask at all times.
I do, believe me.
All right, everybody out there, stay safe and healthy. Thanks for watching. John Byrne at Poets and Quants.